Little St. James is a private island located in the U.S. Virgin Islands, approximately 2 miles southeast of St. Thomas. Covering around 70 to 75 acres, the island may seem small on the map, but what allegedly happened there has left a shadow far larger than its physical size. To the outside world, it appeared to be a luxurious tropical retreat. To investigators, survivors, and journalists, it later became known as Epstein Island, a place symbolizing secrecy, abuse, and the unchecked power of the elite. Jeffrey Epstein purchased Little St. James in 1998 for roughly $7.95 million. Soon after, the island was transformed into an isolated fortress of luxury. Private docks, heavily guarded perimeters, surveillance cameras, and restricted access ensured that almost nothing happened there without Epstein's control. Flights arrived on his private jet. Passengers were ferried by boat, and outsiders were kept at a distance. Even local authorities rarely stepped foot on the island. At the center of the island stood a large main residence, surrounded by guest villas, staff quarters, and service buildings. But one structure drew particular attention: a mysterious blue and white dome building, often referred to as the Temple. Epstein never publicly explained its purpose, fueling endless speculation. Former associates and locals offer conflicting accounts, but its symbolism only deepened the island's eerie reputation. According to court documents, testimonies, and investigative reports, Little St. James was allegedly used as a location where underage girls were trafficked, abused, and exploited. Victims later stated they were flown to the island under false promises, modeling opportunities, education, or financial help, only to find themselves trapped in a nightmare. Once there, they described being coerced into sexual acts, monitored constantly, and punished for disobedience. Several survivors claimed the abuse was not limited to Epstein alone. They alleged that powerful and influential men, from politicians to businessmen, visited the island. Names surfaced in lawsuits and media reports, though not all allegations resulted in charges. What made the island especially disturbing was its role as protected space, far removed from law enforcement, where wealth and influence acted as shields against accountability. The island's isolation played a critical role. Surrounded by water, guarded day and night, and accessible only by Epstein's permission, it functioned like a modern-day fortress. Victims reported that escape felt impossible. Some said they were made to believe no one would help them, that the people involved were too powerful, and that resistance was meaningless. After Epstein's arrest in July 2019 and his controversial death in a New York jail cell a month later, Little St. James was raided by law enforcement. The FBI conducted searches, collecting computers, storage devices, and physical evidence. Yet for many, these raids came years too late. Much of what happened on the island had already been buried under silence, destroyed records, or sealed settlements. In 2023, the island was sold for approximately $60 million to a private investor who announced plans to redevelop it into a luxury resort. This decision sparked outrage among victims and activists who argued that the island should stand as a memorial to the crimes committed there, not be repackaged as paradise. Today, Epstein Island remains one of the most haunting symbols of modern criminal impunity. It represents how wealth can buy silence, how isolation can enable abuse, and how systems meant to protect the vulnerable can fail catastrophically. Despite investigations, lawsuits, and global attention, many questions remain unanswered. Who really went there? How many victims were silenced? And how many powerful figures escaped justice? Little St. James may be just down in the Caribbean, but its legacy is etched into the darkest chapters of recent history, a reminder that monsters don't always hide in shadows. Sometimes they build islands. What you have just heard is only part of the story. Words can describe the horror, the silence, and the power that protected this place, but they can never fully capture it. In the following footage, you will see real images of Epstein Island, the buildings, the isolation, the structures where secrets were buried in plain sight. These are not scenes from a movie. This is a real place, a real island, where real lives were damaged forever. Watch closely, because sometimes the truth doesn't need a narrator. It speaks for itself.